In this session, we will see the analysis of current amplifier with feedback. It is called as shunt series amplifier because on the input side, to subtract current, the output side of the feedback network should be placed in parallel with the input side of feed-forward amplifier. On output side, to sense current, we know that the input side of the feedback network should be placed in series with the output side of feed-forward amplifier. So that's why it is called as the shunt series amplifier. First we are going to consider the ideal case. So we will first see the ideal case. Ideal case is where the feedback network is ideal and it doesn't load the input as well as output side of the feed forward amplifier. First we will see the model of feed forward amplifier. In this case it is a current amplifier. So input is a current to this amplifier, which we show it by quantity II. It has an input impedance Ri, while output side is also current. So it should be shown by the Norton's equivalent on the output side. So it consists of current controlled current source whose value is AI into II and its output impedance is RO. So this is the feed forward amplifier. Generally what we do is we apply the current source on the input side with value equal to IS, and in ideal case we short circuit the output terminals of the feed forward amplifier. So we assume the load impedance to be 0. In that case the current flowing through the short circuit is equal to I out or IO, and from this we can see that I out is equal to AI into II, but we can see that II is also equal to IS. So I out is equal to AI into IS. So I out by IS is equal to AI, which we call it as AI open. This is without feedback, that's why it is called as AI open. Now we will see the model of the feedback network. We have assumed here that the feedback network is ideal. So input quantity to the feedback network here is a current, because output of a feed forward amplifier is a current. So when input quantity is a current, ideal value of the input impedance is 0. So this current is equal to I out or IO, and the output side is current controlled. Output side is current controlled current source whose value is given by beta into IO, and its output impedance is infinite. Output impedance is infinite. So this is ideal feedback network. Now when we combine this with the feed forward amplifier, we will get the current amplifier with feedback, but with ideal feedback network. So we will get a structure something like this. So we have the feed forward amplifier, input quantity or input current is II, input impedance is Ri, then current controlled current source which is given by AI into II, output impedance is equal to RO. Now we have to connect the feedback network. So output side, output quantity of a feed forward amplifier is a current. To sense current, we know that the input side of the feedback network should be placed in series with the output side of the feed forward amplifier. So this is the feedback, and this is the ideal feedback network. Its input impedance is 0. So ideally we assume the output terminals of overall amplifier to be short circuited, and the current flowing through this is equal to IO or I out. So same current will flow through this IO. Output side of the feedback network is current controlled current source, because output quantity is also current for a feedback network. Input side of the input quantity to the feed forward amplifier is a current, so we can only subtract current. So this is beta into I naught. Its output impedance is infinite in ideal case, and in order to subtract current, what should be done is it should be placed in parallel with input side of the feed forward amplifier. So this is our feed forward amplifier. So this is connected here and this is the connection. So we get this kind of a network. So this is ideal feedback network. With zero input impedance and infinite output impedance. So this current is IF. So II is equal to IS minus IF. So voltage subtraction take place. While this part is the feed forward amplifier. This is feed forward amplifier. Now with feedback we have to find out what are the values of closed loop gain, closed loop input impedance and closed loop output impedance. So we will see the analysis of these quantities. So first one is the closed loop gain. Closed loop gain means gain with feedback, but feedback network is ideal. We show it by AI closed. This is without loading effect. So we can see that in this case II is equal to IS minus IF. It is very clear from the diagram. IS minus IF. And IO is equal to AI into II. And II is equal to AI into II is equal to IS minus IF. But IF, you can see that it is equal to beta into I naught. Beta into I naught. So we can substitute the value of IF here. We will get I naught is equal to AI IS minus beta into I naught. So if we combine I naught related terms, we will get I naught into 1 plus beta into AI is equal to AI into IS. So it is very clear that the AI closed is equal to output current divided by input current, which will be equal to AI upon 1 plus beta into AI. You should observe that the gain of feed forward amplifier is a unitless quantity. It is ampere by ampere. So feedback network is also having feedback factor unitless. So you can see that here also the current gain is reduced by a factor 1 plus loop gain. Beta into AI is a loop gain. So the closed loop gain in ideal network, feedback network, it is AI divided by 1 plus beta AI. So this is the expression for the closed loop gain with feedback, but the feedback network doesn't load the input and output side of feed forward amplifier. The second parameter to be obtained is the closed loop input impedance, which we show it by R in closed. Now without loading effect, you can observe that R in open is equal to Ri. It is very clear from the figure, and R out open is equal to Ro. From this diagram, whenever there is no feedback, R in open is equal to Ri and R out open is equal to Ro. In order to find out the input impedance, we use the same procedure. What we do is we will apply the known voltage source Vx plus minus Vx here and find out the current Ix. This current Ix, Vx by Ix, the ratio of Vx by Ix will give us the closed loop input impedance of this circuit. So we can see that we can write, so we can observe that Ix is equal to If plus Ii. So Ix is equal to If plus Ii. Now we can see that the value of IO is equal to, in this case, IO is equal to AI into II. So IO is equal to AI into II. And IF, from this you can see that IF is equal to beta into IO. IF is equal to beta into IO, which is equal to beta into AI into II. Beta into AI into II. So if I substitute the value of IF back into this expression, we will get it as Ix is equal to beta into AI into II plus II. So this can be written as, if II is taken common, we will get it as 1 plus beta into AI. But we can also observe that Vx is equal to II into Ri. Vx is equal to II into Ri. So Vx is equal to II into Ri. So from this we can see that II is equal to Vx divided by Ri. So putting this value of II here, we will get Ix is equal to Vx divided by Ri into 1 plus beta into AI. So from this, Vx by Ix is equal to Ri upon 1 plus beta into AI. Vx by Ix, we called it as R in closed, and Ri is R in open. So we can write R in closed is equal to R in open divided by 1 plus beta. AI we called it as AI open, and this is obvious. In current amplifier with feedback, proper kind of feedback, the input impedance reduces by a factor 1 plus loop gain, and this is obvious because there is a parallel connection on input side, and we have seen that whenever there is a parallel connection, effective impedance reduces because of the parallel connection on the input side. On the output side, there is a series connection, so we can say that there will be increase in the output impedance. We will prove it. So here also, when input quantity is a current, ideal value of the input impedance is 0. So feedback makes the input impedance closer to the ideal value. If output quantity is a current, ideal value of output impedance is infinite. So with feedback, the impedance should increase by 1 plus loop gain. That we will see whether it is happening in this particular configuration or not. So the third parameter that we are going to see is the closed loop. Third one is the closed loop output impedance. Which is shown by R out closed. Which is shown by R out closed. So we will go back to the original circuit. Here there was the current source. So this is IS. So this current is IS. Now in order to find out output impedance, what should be done? We should place the known voltage source on the output terminals of the amplifier. This current voltage source is Vx, and we should find out the current Ix drawn from it. Vx by Ix will give us the output impedance. In order to do that, the input signal should be made 0. So it should be open circuited. So this should be open circuited. So we have open circuit on the input side. Because of this, what will happen? II is equal to minus If. So if we get in this case the ratio of Vx by Ix, we will be able to find out the output impedance. Now we can see that the voltage across RO is Vx. So the total current Ix, which is also equal to IO, the total current Ix will be addition of the current flowing through RO plus AI into II. So I can write Ix is equal to, so Ix is equal to AI into II plus the current flowing through RO is Vx divided by RO. Vx divided by RO. But we know that if we see it, because Is has been open circuited, current If is equal to minus II, or II is equal to minus If. So I can write II is equal to minus If, and If is equal to, from the figure, If is equal to beta into IO, and IO is equal to Ix. So it is beta into Ix. If is equal to minus here beta into Ix. So if we substitute the value of II, this value of II in this expression, we will get it as Ix is equal to AI. II is minus beta into Ix plus Vx divided by RO. Ix terms on one side, we will get Ix into 1 plus beta into AI is equal to Vx divided by RO. So from this we can see that Vx divided by Ix is equal to 1 plus beta into AI multiplied by RO. So thus, and this Vx by Ix we have called it as it is R out closed. It is R out closed, which is equal to RO is R out open. So R out open multiplied by 1 plus beta into AI is nothing but AI open. So the output impedance is multiplied by 1 plus loop gain. The open loop output impedance is multiplied by 1 plus loop gain in closed loop configuration. So output impedance has increased to make it more closer to the ideal value. So this is the analysis of the current amplifier. Now we will see one example based on it. We will take example where we are going to assume that the feedback network is ideal. It is not loading the input as well as output side of the feed forward amplifier. So we have a configuration something like this. Input quantity is a current, and but we know that the current source will be having its source impedance in parallel with it, Rs. This is Is, this is the source impedance. So this is connected to ground, this is VDD, sorry, this is RD. The output of this is connected to another MOSFET, say NMOS. This is VDD, this is M1, this is M2. The output quantity is a current, this is I out. To convert the current into voltage, generally resistance RS2 will be inserted in the path of I out. And in order to subtract the current, so what is done is one feedback resistance RF is connected. Now we should assume that RS2 and RF has been chosen such that there is no loading effect on input and output side. So if we have to make this current close to zero, we should make RF very large. So RF is very large, and to make the resistance in this path zero, so that there is no change in the value of a current I out, RS2 should be very close to zero. So RF is close to infinity and RS2 is close to zero. In such case, we have to find out what is the closed loop gain of this particular amplifier without loading effect, that you should understand. So without loading effect means the current flowing in this direction is zero, and RS2 is very close to zero. So VGS for this M2, VGS2 is equal to, if I say this Vx, so it is equal to Vx. So this is the condition for no loading. VGS2 should be equal to Vx and RF should be equal to, that is possible only when the RS2 is very close to zero. So under this assumption, we will see here the voltage VGS1 will be equal to IS into, sorry, I in, IS or I in, I will call this as I in instead of IS, I in into RS. I in into RS is VGS1, and we know that M1 and RD form a common source amplifier without source degeneration. So output voltage Vx will be equal to minus GM1 into RD multiplied by VGS1. Output voltage is equal to gain multiplied by input voltage. So it is minus GM1 into RD multiplied by RS into I in. So I have substituted the value of VGS from here. So Vx is equal to minus GM1 RD RS into I in, and we know that I out is equal to GM2 into Vx. Vx is equal to VGS2. So it is equal to minus Vx, we have to substitute it from there here. So it is minus GM1 GM2 RD RS into I in is equal to I out. So I out divided by I in is equal to minus GM1 into GM2 into RD into RS. Remember that when we solve the example where loading effect has to be neglected, we should find out the open loop gain without loading effect and the loop gain. So open loop gain, so it is AI open. So we have found out AI open. In order to find out the closed loop parameters, we should find out the loop gain by normal method. So in order to do that, we consider the same circuit here. We have to break the loop at a proper place. We should apply the known voltage at one end. So best location is here. We will break the loop here because the input impedance on this side is infinity. So here we will apply Vt and we find out what is the VR here. So from this circuit it is very clear that we have found out this AI open. So this is VR. So second parameter, that the first one is open loop gain, which is called as AI open. So we have found it out. Now we have to find out second parameter, that is loop gain. Loop gain, it is beta into AI open. So for this we have broken the feedback. We applied the test voltage Vt in proper direction. We have to find out VR, and minus VR by Vt is a loop gain. So we can see that in this case, if this voltage is Vt, an input signal should be made 0. So it should be open circuited. So this should be open circuited. So I will remove it. Now we can see that the current flows in this direction is I out. So the voltage at this point will be equal to I out multiplied by RS2 parallel RF plus RS. So I can write down the expression for I out as, this is very important, I out is equal to GM2 into VGS2. I out is equal to GM2 into VGS2. So GM2, VGS2 is Vt minus the voltage at this point. Voltage at this point will be equal to I out into the resistance is RS2 parallel RF plus RS. You should observe that RF and RS, they are in series. Same current will flow through this because no current goes in this direction. So from this we can see that I out, if it is taken on one side, we will get it as 1 plus GM2 into RS2 parallel RF plus RS is equal to GM2 into Vt. Okay, so this is the voltage at this point. So if we know the voltage at this point, we can calculate VR. So the voltage at say point, say A, VA we have already calculated, right? So what we have to find out this current. We have to find out this current. We have to find out this current. So we can write it as this current. So I will call it as IRF. So IRF is equal to I out into RS2 divided by RS2 plus RF plus RS. This is the current flowing through RF. We have applied the current division rule, and this current multiplied by RS will be VGS1. So VGS1 is equal to IRF multiplied by RS. So which is equal to I out into RS2 divided by RS2 plus RF plus RS multiplied by RS. So this is a value of VGS1. Now VR equal to minus GM1 into RD multiplied by VGS1. So we can write it as minus GM1 into RD multiplied by VGS1 is RS2 into RS divided by RS2 plus RF plus RS. So this is the value of multiplied by I out. So we have the value of VR. So I out also we have found out. I out is given by this factor. From this we can write down the expression for I out. So I out is equal to GM2 VT divided by this factor. So I will substitute here minus GM1 into RD into RS2 into RS divided by RS2 plus RF plus RS into I out is GM2 into VT divided by GM2 VT divided by 1 plus GM2 into RS2 parallel RF plus RS. So we got the expression for VT. So VR. So this is VR. It's the expression for VR. Now we know that beta into AI open is equal to minus VR by VT. So we can see that this is the VR. Take this VT on this side and you will get the expression for this beta into AI open. So once this beta into AI open is there, AI closed can be obtained by AI open divided by 1 plus beta into AI open. So beta into AI open is the expression, that is I will write it here, that is GM1 GM2 into RD into RS into RS2 divided by RS2 plus RF plus RS into 1 plus GM2 into RS2 parallel RF plus RS. Okay, so this value, and AI open has already been obtained. AI open is given here. So we have to substitute the values to get what is AI closed. This is in case of ideal network. So this complete analysis has been shown in this, so you can look into this slide for the explanation that I have given in this particular session, and this is the problem that we have just looked into. So you have to just substitute the value of AI open and beta into AI open to get the final answer for this particular problem. In the next session we will see the more practical case where there is a loading effect of the feedback network. We will see it in the next session. Thank you.